This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Watch us fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. Cat drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey, looky there. Welcome to King of the Hill podcast. I am Mike, and he is...
I'm Mason.
It's Mason. What do you know? So we are... this is a weird one. We have to do something while... So Rusty is sick. He got sick. He got real sick. Went in the hospital a couple of times sick. So he's out, doing better. But we owe you an episode, so that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, he should be back next week, hopefully.
Mason is dressed as some sort of rubber knight. I understand it's a Batman mask, but it is not a good one. It's not a good Batman mask.
Yeah, I'm sure you noticed my eyes are coming out of the mouth.
Yeah. Well, you've opened up your third eye and your fourth eye. All right, so here's what we decided to do. Rusty and I left it on kind of a cliffhanger between the end of season 6 and the start of season 7. And I didn't want to go on and do that without him because, you know, it's his show too. So, plus we're thinking about you, buddy, if you're watching this. So I let Mason pick one out from the last few seasons, and he picked out season 5, episode 2, The Buck Stops Here. Now, this is an all new WA experience, I guess, because one, I already had my notes. They were already done because this is a show that we've already done. So I am going to try to rip through these things fairly in a decent order. But Mason and I will do the same thing that Rusty and I do and try to do it well. So let's see what we got here. So, before we start, anything up with you, Mason?
Not much. Just, working.
Yeah? You got 2 jobs.
Yeah, I got 2 jobs.
2 jobs,
but
2 wives, 2 dogs, 2 cats.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Sort of. I sometimes complain about having 2 jobs, but
Sure.
honestly, it's not like I work in, 3 construction jobs.
Yeah.
Or, 2 food jobs. Both my jobs involve me sitting at computers.
That's
so,
a good way to
They could be a lot worse.
Yeah, absolutely. You could be digging holes, you know?
Yeah. So
Thank God we don't dig
I'm
holes.
better off than most.
And how are both your wives? You doing okay?
Well, this one's good, and this one nags me too much.
And he held up his hands, audio listeners. All right, season 5, episode 2, The Buck Stops Here. We start off at the Hill House. It's morning. Bobby gets up and he opens the shades. Sorry. He goes into Bobby's room and Hank opens up the shades and Bobby says, "Dad, I didn't get to bed until 3 o'clock this morning. I was watching the Taxi marathon on Nick at Night." Thank you very much.
What the hell is Taxi?
Taxi?
Yeah.
Oh, Mason, come on.
I mean, I know Full House.
It was an NBC show, if I'm not mistaken, either NBC or ABC. NBC, I'm pretty sure. It was on, I don't know, late 80s maybe. Danny DeVito, first real time that people got introduced to him. The dude from Back to the Future, whatever his name is, the Doc Brown from Back to the Future,
Lloyd?
Christopher Lloyd, he was in it. It was Tony Danza was in it, and Latka, Latka Gravis, which was shit. Why am I thinking his name? Who's the guy that the Andy Kaufman? He was in it.
Oh, okay.
So it was it was like a, I don't know. You think of it, it's a straight up sitcom, but it was a pretty good one. It was fairly funny. Yeah,
I can
for
relate
quite
to
a while.
Bobby a lot with
Yeah?
this because I used to, when I would come spend summers with my dad,
Mm-hmm.
and like we spend nights at my grandmother's house.
Mhm.
She had cable at the time, and
Yeah.
so I'd stay up till like 4 or 5 in the morning watching
Nick at Night.
either Nick at Night or Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Because that's when they'd air like old reruns of old cartoons, or just stuff that they wasn't on the prime time. So if at Nick at Night, I get to watch George Lopez or sometimes Full House. My favorite
George
usually
Lopez.
George was usually my favorite, or The Nanny. I
The
really liked
Nanny. Fran
Yes, I did.
Drescher, huh?
Yes, I did like The Nanny.
The head of the Actors Union.
Is she?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's the one that always gets out in front and argues for the strikes and all that stuff. Yeah.
Mhm. And then
She also
on-
had terrible throat cancer
yeah,
at one time.
and on Disney Channel they'd air like Lilo and Stitch,
Uh-huh.
Brandy and Mr. Whiskers.
Oh, we're talking about Lilo and Stitch, the cartoon, not the
Yeah.
movie, right?
yeah, the original cartoon.
Yeah. And what
and
was what Whiskers and who to what?
Brandy and Mr. Whiskers? That was a cartoon from I want to say the early 2000s. It was about a
Girl and a cat.
It was a dog,
Mm.
a girl dog, and a rabbit, male rabbit, and they were on a plane, and they fall out the cargo hold, and they land in the Amazon, and they survive in the Amazon. It's a cartoon, so there's like there's like an Aztec mall,
What a
and
premise.
they're best friends with she's best friends with I think an anaconda.
An anaconda.
I think an anaconda, a type of snake.
This sounds like you would just roll your animal dice, pick some characters, and there you go. There's your show.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
So I relate to Bobby in this moment, staying up till like 4, 3 a.m.
Was there anything about like the Mayan calendar in that show?
Not that I remember.
They were like, "Up, today's the last day. World's gonna end."
Yeah. I don't even know if it even got a proper ending.
Really?
I just saw the reruns at they'd air like 3, 4, 5 a.m. Because around like 5 a.m. is when they start airing their like Nick would air like their junior stuff, and
Yeah.
Disney would air their baby
Yeah.
stuff.
Nick Jr. I remember that. Well, now it's all bluey. Everybody's all bluey in themselves. All right, so Hank says, Bobby, in this house, you don't get to sleep through your summer vacation and watch. We're probably repeats all night and like some shut-in. Here, I put together a chore list, and I made sure to alternate between light and heavy chores. He hands him the list, and Bobby says, weed pulling is not a light chore. Yeah, it is. Just purchased a new weed puller. Well, actually, I wouldn't mind trying that out first. And don't worry about the garage door. I'll paint that this weekend. I'm not giving you any chores. You're getting a job. Bobby's like, okay, though, I'm not very employable. No skills, bad attitude, 7th grade education. But we can try. He just turns back over in bed.
Because Bobby's 13 at this point.
Bobby is either 12 or 13, yeah.
I mean,
He's getting
granted,
there.
different time period. What the hell kind of? I mean, we see now, but like, what the hell kind of job can a 13-year-old get?
Well,
yeah, I know it's the late 90s, but
did you? When was the first? How old were you when you got your first job?
I'll tell you this more later. I was 16.
16?
16. Yes.
Okay. I think I was 14.
Well, 16 or like late 15.
Yeah. I think I was 14, and I was building saddles for, and it's not a horse saddle, but it's 2 pieces of metal that you put on top of your house that would hold up your antenna. Like, if you need an antenna to catch your TV signals and stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, one of the biggest conspiracies ever, there's no such thing as a color TV antenna. You know this, right?
Yeah, they just
It's
get
just an
picking up the
antenna.
signal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an antenna. They used to sell them as color TV antennas. It was,
Yeah. I mean, the only theory I believe, I think
stupidest
the
thing
Earth
ever.
really is flat.
Do you? That's what this came out of. We
Yes.
started talking about color TV antennas, and now the Earth's flat.
Yes, the Earth is
What-
flat.
What's the? Give me the serial killer connection to that.
I don't feel like being interrogated right now.
Okay.
My first job, I think I told you this. I was a
Bat Mason.
dishwasher. Well, different. You were in McGregor at the time, right? Or were you still? Where were you?
McGregor?
Aren't you from McGregor?
No, I'm from like South Waco. Yeah.
Oh. But anyway, I was in Houston at the time, so we
Yeah.
my dad and my stepmom put me in a car and
Uh-huh.
just made me.
Were they in the car at the same time?
I think so.
Okay,
They
that's
might have
good.
been fighting at
That's
the
good.
time. They
Fighting.
made me get in the backseat of the car, and they just started driving me to restaurants and businesses, and
Yeah.
just say, "This was a time of kids might not relate to this paper applications still."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they made me go take one, fill it out.
They
and-
didn't go in the interview with you, did they?
No,
Because that's
well,
a big thing now. Like all these Gen, whatever the hell they are.
Steve or Alpha.
Yeah, I don't care. But whatever they are, they take their parents on interviews with them. Which, what?
I don't believe that actually happens as much as people think. That's probably happened once,
No.
and someone posted it on TikTok.
No, read a story the other day. It says it's happening to like 15-20% of the interviewees.
Yeah.
So,
But no,
but
they
it was
just made
written
me
by a
go
redditor.
in.
So no, it wasn't.
They just made me go in and grab them, and then
Yeah.
I
Oh
went to
yeah,
a-
man, you would spend hours just filling those things out, and it's the same info over and over and
It
over.
was boring as shit.
Usually the same application for the most part. Like they all kind of look the same.
Yeah, they all got from the same company.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
All right, so now we go over to the gym at TLMS. It shouldn't have taken me that long. Min walks up and says, "Hello, Peggy Hill." She says, "Well, Min, I'm surprised to see you here." By the way, there's a blood drive going on here. That's why we're in the gym. She goes, "I've been donating blood for a long time. I'm what they call a universal donor. Type O. I can give blood to anyone. My blood that important." She goes, "Well, I am AB negative, the rarest blood of all, liquid gold."
Do you
Peggy
think-
always has to be better.
Do we think Peggy actually is AB, or is she just making this up?
I think Peggy does not know what blood type she is. Do you know what blood type you are?
Yeah, I am O positive.
Really?
Yep.
I have zero idea.
Have you
What
ever given
blood
blood
type I am.
before?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
They usually tell you.
I don't pay attention.
Well, you gotta know, Mike. What if? You
I mean,
ever
once
need
they
it?
put it in the bucket, I just walk out.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You know? Where do you give your blood?
The last usually every time I've done it, just Carter either goes
Oh.
to my job, or in high school they went to my high school and was like, "You want to give blood?
Yeah.
Why not?"
Mine's usually out of my arm. All right, so we see workers come up with cookies and orange juice. Ms. Hill, our records show that you've donated a total of 6 pints of blood. I want you to know that when you've reached 8 pints, Peggy says, or 1 gallon.
No, she yells one. Everyone needs to know.
Or 1 gallon. She says, yes, or 1 gallon. We will give you a complimentary coffee mug. She goes, oh, a mug? It would say that I gave blood, right? She goes, yes. And Miss Susan Newsophone, you're only 1 pint away from the mug. And Min says, hear that, Peggy? Next time I'll be drinking orange juice from a coffee mug while you still drinking it from that itty-bitty Peggy Hill paper cup. She crushes and drops the cup. And then, by the way, there's a poster in the back that says every drop counts. And Peggy is pissed. Like, now the competition is on, right? And it's who can give the most freaking blood for a coffee mug. It's
It's like-
insane.
It's like one of those things where you do a good deed, but for selfish reasons.
Oh, yeah.
so
Oh,
like
she
just-
doesn't do anything she doesn't do anything magnanimously. It's always about selfishness. All right, so now we're at Strickland. Buck drives up. Hank is with a customer, and Buck says, "Stealing company gas, Hank?" He goes, "Oh, good one. Mr. Strickland, I was wondering if it'd be okay to put Bobby to work for the summer as a tank wipe." Boy, I hate that job title. Tank
Tank
wipe.
wipe.
That's just the stupidest thing ever. I don't know. All they do is wipe down tanks.
I
mean,
would
I've
assume
asked,
so.
I've asked
They-
Rusty the same thing.
They probably have them also, probably clean the bathrooms and scrap all the stuff no one else wants to do.
Tank wipe, butt wipe.
Most likely.
Sure. He said, no. it's too-
And you know what? Probably also wash Buck's car.
yeah, I would imagine wash Buck's car, probably wash the gas trucks, all of that kind of stuff. Just the general run-of-the-mill do-it-all kid or whatever. No, it's too late. I promised that last tank wipe job to Ms. Liz, brother's stepson's kid. Ms. Liz, her brother, her stepson's kid.
Her brother's stepson's kid.
Uh-huh. But I tell you what, if Bobby works half as hard as you, I'll pull a few strings, grease a few palms, get him a job as a caddy at the golf club. He goes, whoa, that would be great, sir. You know, I love golf. Maybe, I don't know, sometime. I mean, I know you love golf too. And I thought, no, Hank, you're too old to be a caddy. Get back to work. And he just drives off. He does not get the point at all.
Oh, poor Hank.
Peggy pulls up. She sees Min next door hanging laundry. Well, hey, Min, just thought I'd let you know that I've donated another pint of blood, 7 pints apiece, Min, but not for long. I'm on a donating streak. And she just kind of drives off. Min just grunts because, both of them are very highly competitive when it comes to
Yeah.
any of this stuff.
I forget. when you
Plus, I
normally
don't think they like each other, honestly.
no. I mean, they're like more rivals. They are friends, but they're rivals.
Very much so.
How much is a? I'm horrible with the metric system. How many ounces are in a pint again?
742. I have no idea. I think it's.
Very cool.
I know it's 8 cups in a quart and 5 quarts in a gallon pint.
No, it's 4 quarts in a gallon, isn't it?
I don't know.
The U.S. education system failed me.
Well, here's the thing. This is another one of those things that I've been told numerous times in my life, but I just can't seem to care. You know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Pints in a quart. Okay, there's 2 pints in a quart. Everybody out there is yelling at us at this point.
Yeah.
2 pints in a quart. So that means 2 quarts in 8 cups. Why would it break it up this way? 4 cups would be a quarter gallon. So what is that?
16 cups a gallon.
16 cups in a gallon. Yeah. Okay. There we go. 16 cups in a gallon, and
I was trying to remember how much blood they usually take. When I think a couple ounces or something.
I think they take a pint at a time.
They do take a pint.
Yeah, I
at
think
a
they
time?
take a pint.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
never mind.
that I'm pretty sure about. 16 pints in a gallon and number 1 in your heart. Peggy pulls over into her driveway, and she almost passes out. She grabs an orange and just starts gnawing on it like an animal. I mean, she's. Now we're at the Everwood Country Club. We hear another caddy saying the trick to being picked by a golfer is to make sure you make eye contact. Look alert. They like that. If you don't get picked, you end up sitting on your butt all day. Bobby's like, oh, thanks for the tip. And, that's music to Bobby's ears because he just wants to sit on his butt all day.
Mm-hmm.
They all sit up straight. Bobby slouches. A golfer comes by, and he picks out the other 2. Bobby stays there. Later, we see Bobby asleep on the bench where he was waiting to get picked by a golfer. We hear a car horn come up. Buck gets out in his golf clothes. He starts tipping everybody. The valets are all like, oh, hey, Mr. Strickland, nice to see you, sir. I mean, everybody's coming up to him because he gives out money.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, go, Bradley. Hey, you, bring me a martini on the first tee. 2 olives. Hey, Bobby, how they treating you? He says, oh, that's good, sir. He goes, well, now you can tell him Buck Strickland treats you better. And he gives him $5. I mean, Bobby has been sitting there on his ass all day not doing anything, and he gets $5. So he's pretty freaking happy
I
about
respect the
this.
work ethic.
No shit, right. Later, we see Bobby still sitting on that bench. He's eating an ice cream cone. The other caddy says, hey, after work, we're going to hang out and wash some golf carts, and we're going to ride some blocks of ice down a hill. Bobby says, well, I'm not really interested in washing carts, but you give me a shout when you're ready to do that ice riding thing. And then he just shakes up his chocolate milk.
Mm-hmm.
Later, we see 2 caddies pushing blocks of ice up a hill. They're like, okay, you want to go first? You want to go first? And all that.
I'm going to give these guys credit. They're really nice to a guy who didn't
Very
do
much
any work
so.
all day.
Very much so. But think about it. As long as you get along with the guy, it's fine because he's not taking work away from you.
Yeah.
You're making money. So I'm sure all these kids are worried about is getting the tips.
Did you ever,
Caddy?
Did you ever do it or no?
I never caddied.
Do you play golf at all? Or?
I played golf maybe 3 times in my life. Did not enjoy it. I don't. Number 1, it's outside, so screw that.
It takes like hours, doesn't it?
It takes forever, and I am not that person.
Mm.
Even when I played video games and stuff like that, like sports games and things, those were the only one I would play because they were over quickly.
Mm.
Like you could sit there for 30 minutes and you're done. I cannot. Like Final Fantasy stuff like that. That gives me the creepy crawlies. I just couldn't even sit there that long. There's no way.
Yeah, you wouldn't like most modern games.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I certainly don't like the open world concept. I can't do that.
I understand that. I
need my earthworm gem. I need to get from one level to the next.
Maybe we need to be. Maybe if we had country club memberships, maybe then we'd enjoy it. I don't know.
If I had country club, well, let me put it this way: my mother-in-law and my now deceased father-in-law, they lived on a golf course, and so it would always be like, oh yeah, come on down, we'll go to the club. Nobody wants to go to that damn club. You go in there, the food's not that great, but it's a bunch of old white guys that think they really own something because they pay a membership to this place.
Well, why don't the
It's
food? I would
just
assume the
silly.
food would be good at least.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's like going to Golden Corral or something. It's about
nothing
that
like
quality
special.
food. No, it's really not. You would think it would be much better because they hold it in such high esteem, but I don't know. I would just get a club sandwich every time. A club sandwich at the club. All right, so we see those guys pushing the ice up the hill. They ask Bobby if he wants to go first. He says, "Oh, me? Sure, yeah, what the hey? Now, how do I?" And they just push him down the hill, and the other guy says, "You are ice blocking, my friend." And he just knocks over a golfer as he keeps going down.
I love that. Just falls.
Yeah, he's just gone. All right,
How
now
are you supposed to stop the ice?
you're not. That's the thing.
You
You
just
can't.
go
You
until
just
it
go,
stops?
man. You just go. Yeah. If you see a tree, jump off. That's about it. All right, and then we see in the security car in the back seat, because now we got the security guards there. Do you know who knocked him down? The chairman of the membership committee? Yeah, that's right. Corky Haywood. I'd be wetting myself, too, if I were you. Talking to Bobby because he knocked Corky Haywood down, the chairman of the membership committee. Big goings-on there at the club. All right, later on, we're at the
He's
hill.
always important because he's named Corky.
He's named Corky Haywood. Yeah. I would imagine his middle name, if you were thinking of something real richy rich, Corky Theodore Haywood.
Well,
or
Corky's
something
obviously
like that.
not his actual name. But
Maybe it
How
is.
do you even get
What if
that
his name is
nickname?
Corky?
What?
I don't even know what Corky is short for.
Well,
The one that really always confuses me, like being short for a longer name, is Richard. The fact that you call yourself Dick, that's a weird one. I don't know where that even comes from, other than Richard being a dick.
yeah. Well, you can call people Rich or Richie.
Well, sure, I get that. You know, if my name is Michael, if you called me Earl, that would be weird, right? I mean, it's not anywhere in my name, so I don't know. I don't know why you would call me that.
Maybe he's a drunk. 'Cause
Could
he opens
be.
all these wine corks.
Very well
Something
could
like
be. He's Corky. Well, there's a place in at the coast, the Texas coast, that we used to go when I was a kid, and it was called Corky's, and it was a little like it was a fish restaurant, right? I'd go in there, and the only thing I remember about Corky's was I would always get the whole flounder because I thought it was cool that their eyes were only on one side of their body. And so they would cook the fish, split it open, and they put like this crab meat and stuff inside of it. I just remember it being very good. But I did not enjoy going to the coast. It wasn't great because I don't like fishing. Sorry, don't like fishing. It's boring. All right, so we're at the just ostracized like half of our audience. The country club people are gone because we made fun of them.
Oh, they don't
The
watch this
fishing
show.
people are gone because we made fun of them. All right, so
Well,
we're
you
at the
can't piss off the fishing crowd. What
Can't
else is supposed
fish
to
out
listen to while they fish?
That's right. We're at the Hill House now. The doorbell ring. Hank answers the door. It's security guard and Bobby. Security guard says, "Sir, your son was involved in an incident near green number 6. A club member was incapacitated due to ice blocking. Your son's services as a caddy have been terminated." He goes, "Oh, God, Bobby. Mr. Strickland is my boss. He put his reputation on the line to get you this job. Also, sir, your truck is parked more than 1 foot from the curb. I'm giving you a warning." He goes, "You're not a cop." He says,
That's why it's just a warning.
That's why it's just a warning. That's right. He slams the door right in his face. All right, and that is our first commercial break. We'll take that, and we will be...
Oh, yeah, right back.
There it is. And we're back. Look, Peacemaker came in the door. Now it's Peacemaker. I will say, though, like I told Mason during the break, that is a lot easier mask to deal with. Sometimes I wear these masks when we do Bros, Foes, and Heroes, a comic book show that we do. And that one is probably my favorite because it's the least restrictive on me.
I'm wearing my glasses.
You have to. You have to because it won't fit
Deliberately
over.
looking ridiculous.
Yeah, I think what I'll end up doing is probably taking a lot of these masks and putting little slits right on the side of them just so I can shove my glasses right through them. The one I really enjoy is the Batman one because it's way too small for my head. But once you put it on, you can put the glasses over it and you're good. I like how whenever you have that on, you have to look at me like this. You have to like turn your head all sideways and look out the holes and stuff. All right, so we come back from our commercial break. We see Mr. Strickland walking up to the house, and we hear Hank saying, "Corky Raywood may have deep thigh bruise, but the real victim here is Mr. Strickland. You owe that man an apology. I'll wait out here." So he's taken Bobby up to Mr. Strickland's house.
I mean, Bobby's got considered lucky because just a thigh bruise from getting hit with ice. I mean,
well, he was ice
lucky.
blocked.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Ring the doorbell. He makes Bobby go alone. He goes, I'm real sorry, sir. I don't know if you've ever ridden a block of ice before. By the way, Mr. Strickland's in his bathrobe, and you can see his heart surgery scar again. He goes, well, I married Miss Liz, didn't I? Now, you don't worry, Bobby. I'll take care of this. He goes, but that security guy said I was fired. And that security guy is fired. He goes, no, please. Too late. He's fired. Sorry, Bobby. You hear the kettle whistle in the background. He goes, I was making a hot toddy before you showed up. You want a hot toddy? Hot toddy will calm your nerves. You don't give a kid a hot toddy. Hot toddy is alcohol, by the way. He goes, no, thank you, sir. He goes, Miss Liz, 2 hot toddies. We're going to toast your new job as my personal caddy. Now, tell me, Bobby, did you really knock that some bitch on his ass? You know, he tried to get me kicked out of the club for throwing my putter at his wife. No one sneezes when Buck Strickland's about to putt, except for Buck Strickland.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When he first said that, I assumed he just, slept with a guy's wife. And then I realized, he legit threw a whole golf club at a woman.
Put that son of a bitch on his ass. All right, later on, both come out. Hank is waiting still. They're both just laughing and cutting it up. And he goes, I'm going to make it my personal caddy. He's talking to Hank. He goes, well, gee, thank you for doing this for me, sir. He goes, not doing it for you. I'm doing it for Bobby. He reminds me of my boy. He goes, I didn't know you had a son. Yeah, lives in a different town, different woman, name's Ray, something like that. After 16 years, I'm too embarrassed to ask. God almighty. All right, so they go in. Now we're at we're back at the golf range, and we hear Bobby saying, 18 holes. Ugh, I've never walked that far in my life. And then he's with Buck, and he goes, well, you're not going to start now. Toss those clubs in the cart, take the driver's seat. You hungry, Bobby? He goes, yes, sir, I am. So they're both in the golf cart. He goes, well, how's a couple of hot dogs with everything on them? Yeah, he says, oh, fantastic. And they drive off. Next, we're at the next hole. And one of the other golfers is, damn it, he misses it or whatever, shanks it. He goes, you playing Army today, Vargas? He goes, Army golf? He goes, yeah, left, right. Bobby says, oh, good one, sir. He's got a mouthful of hot dog when he says this. He goes, and then Buck goes up and hits it, and yahoo! Sent that whore home in a taxi. I mean, he's just the most colorful speaker. All right, now we're in the alley with all 4 guys. So we've got Hank, and we've got Dale, and we've got Bill and Boomhauer. And
this is the most random interaction.
I
can't tell if this was like, okay, we need to get these actors to say at least one thing.
Yeah.
But they're not involved in the episode. Oh,
it could be in their script. I mean, it could be in their contract, that they get to say at least one thing.
No, I think that's in most like show contracts. Like you have to be in this minimum these amount of episodes.
Yeah.
Or these,
Oh, I would imagine.
I guess I think guest stars like on certain shows are like, oh, you're scheduled for 7. You'll be at 7 across. How many will go?
So Bill starts it off with, I had a dream last night where we were all naked, except for you, Hank. You had these tiny, clear plastic underpants on. Actually, they weren't doing you any good, really, because you could see everything. But the weird part is, Hank's just like, look, there's Bobby. And he sees him get dropped off by Buck, thank God, because he was really tired of that. And then you hear Buck say, see you tomorrow at the club, Bobby. And he drives off and drops Bobby off. He goes, you didn't ask Mr. Strickland to give you a ride home, did you? He goes, no, he insisted. He tipped me a dead president. Hamilton shows him a $20 bill. He goes,
even though for all our listeners, just in case, Hamilton was never president.
Hamilton?
Yeah, Hamilton was a president.
Andrew Hamilton? He was president.
Oh, no,
You're
Alexander.
thinking Franklin.
I was thinking about Alexander.
Oh, Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah.
Is that not the same?
No.
Andrew, Alexander, aren't they the same guy?
Wait, can we Google
which
this?
Which one was which? Was Hamilton was a president? I think
I could have swore Hamilton wasn't.
I don't know, man.
Let's Google. See, this is why.
I know, it's something.
We need to read more.
Alexander Hamilton was never president of the United States. Good
yeah,
for
and
you.
he is on the 20. No, that Jackson's on the 20.
Jackson's
Hamilton's
on
the 50.
He goes, but he was a key figure in the early years of the new nation. So he was the Secretary of Treasury. So that makes sense that he's on the $20 bill. But yeah, he
I
says
thought Jackson was on the 20, or is he on the 50?
I don't know, man. I know Franklin's on 100. That's all I know.
Oh yeah.
And
Abe's on the 5, right?
Abe is on the 5.
Washington's on the 1.
Washington on the 1s.
Sorry, my wallet has
On
cash.
the 1s
I could
and
just pull it
5s.
out.
Yeah, no, I don't have any cash. All right, so he says, yeah, he tipped me a dead president, Hamilton. He shows him a $20 bill. He goes, way to go, Bobby. Mr. Strickland's not one to throw his money around. He rewards hard work with a fair salary. Bobby runs off, and then Dale, look at you, Hank. You're so jealous. When was the last time you were dropped off at home by your boss? Never. It sucks, man. Dale's such a dick.
Wait, you've dropped me off once.
I have. I've dropped
Yeah,
you off once.
I am special.
You are special. Yeah, I didn't give you $20, but you are special.
Yeah.
All right, we're at dinner with Peggy and Hank, and Bobby says, so then when Buck finally sunk his putt, he tried to do a little dance, but he's kind of too big, so he had me do it for him. Everybody loved it. Can you imagine, like, you you sink something, you're excited, and you go, I can't really do that dance. Bobby, dance for me. I mean, that's how that works. Hank says, well, while Buck's out enjoying himself on the links, I'm just glad he's got someone like me at the shop to keep the trains running on time. Take today, for instance. We got a surprise call from the Propane Association. They needed to talk to Buck. Well, I handled it, told them they'd be fine, and, yep, it's just kind of fires I have to put out when Buck's not around. Boy, that is a hell of a story you got there, Hank.
Yeah.
Somebody called. They said they needed something. I said, I'll do it, and they said, okay. And that was it. That's my whole story.
Yeah, well, gotta give Hank credit. He takes pride in his work, and
does.
that probably really was the highlight of his day.
That pretty much was, I would imagine. And so we hear Bobby say, anyway, there was some game. Mr. Strickland got up under more balls than a midget hooker. Peggy goes, Bobby. Hank says, where'd you learn language like that? The television? He goes, no, Mr. Strickland. Just because you're his caddy does not give you the right to repeat it. He goes, take it easy, old top. God dang, 7:15. I'm missing a wheel. And he gets up and just leaves. He's becoming a little too Stricklandized. All right, we're at Strickland. It's the next day. Hank sees Buck. He's on the phone. He comes up and says, sir, last night at dinner, Bobby used some language. Sorry, he didn't know he was on the phone. He goes, yeah, no, look, I got to go. Your daddy just walked in the room. Hank, you want to say hi to your son? He's on the phone with Bobby. Hank says, no, but I'm glad I can talk to you both. Mr. Strickland, Bobby used some language last night that he said he got from you. He goes, is that true, Bobby? He just starts laughing. He goes, all right then, Bobby, I'll see you at the club. And he hangs up the phone and goes, that it, Hank? I mean, it was he didn't settle anything. He's just like, yep, Bobby, midget hooker, bye. Next, we're at the McMainerberry Chamber of Commerce blood drive today, and so of course Peggy and Men are both there. And you hear from the nurse, I'm sorry, ma'am, but I'm afraid you're gonna have to send you home. Your blood pressure is way too low. Peggy's like, oh darn, no mug for men. The nurse says, did you get blood recently? She goes, yes, but so did she. She's pointing at her. She goes, twice. See. She raises Peggy's sleeves to show the Band-Aids. Peggy goes, you do not have to take it from a vein in my arm. You can take it from one in the back of my leg. The nurse just is like both of you go home. I'm not giving either one of you a mug. You can have a cookie. Peggy says, I do not want a cookie. I want that mug. Both of them are grasping for that mug, but they're both too weak. It's just a mug that says, I heart giving blood on it.
Well, who doesn't love a good mug? And plus, how rare are these? Where are you going to find it? Maybe a thrift store?
Yes, you're going to find it a good one. I have gotten to the point where I hate coffee mugs. I don't like coffee mugs. I like this. This is not a coffee mug. This is a coffee carafe or whatever.
Yeah, but you need like that much coffee every day, so it makes sense you wouldn't want a mug.
I drink probably, I don't know what this holds. I would say maybe 24 ounces, maybe. And I drink probably 3 of these a day. I drink one before I leave the house, drink one when I get here, and then maybe one more. But it keeps it hot. A coffee mug does not keep anything hot. It just starts getting cold immediately.
Like they're all colorful.
So fill them full of pins. I don't know. Peggy
judging people's collection.
I am. Peggy removes it. If you're collecting trolls, quit it. Peggy removes the Band-Aids from her arms. She pinches her cheeks, and then she goes in to get more blood. She goes, come on. What are you waiting for? Let's save some lives. Like, are they just going to forget that they just sent her home? She pinched her cheeks and took off the Band-Aids.
Most likely.
All right, next we're on the golf course again. Buck, you ready to lose, Pratley? Look out. And then he drives the ball, and it goes through the grass. He goes, oh, shoot. Now, where'd that little son of a gun get to? Bobby's with him, of course, caddy, and he's like, it's over here, Mr. Strickland. Ball's out in front of the tree. He kicks the ball onto the green, and he goes, oh, almost broke my neck trickling over the ball. And he says, well, isn't that cheating, Mr. Strickland? He goes, I'm not going to lie to you, Bobby. No, it's just being clumsy. There's no law against being clumsy. That is, unless you're caught. He laughs a little bit, and then he knocks the ball. It splashes. You hear a bunch of geese go off, and he goes, go find the ball, Bobby. Find it someplace good. Like, he's He's gonna move
I
the
mean,
ball
he's
no
not
matter
wrong.
what.
There's no law against being clumsy.
Gives him a little money and tells him to find someplace good. All right, so now Hank is in the garage with his golf clubs. Buck drives up to drop off Bobby. Well, see you later, Bobby. Remember to soak those feet. Hank says he's talking to Bobby as he walks up. He goes, so, Bobby, I thought that maybe we go golfing tomorrow, just the two of us. He goes, He goes, give your mother a chance to recuperate. Walks in the house. Peggy's passed out on the couch. She's just like the whole time. Bobby says, I can't, Dad. Buck asked me to caddy for him this weekend. We're teeing off at 9 a.m. tomorrow. He said, isn't that Mr. Strickland's watch? He's talking about the one on his arm. He goes, my watch now. He gave it to me as a gift. He goes, Buck Strickland does not give gifts. I've worked for that man over 15 years. He's never given me anything. And then Peggy from the couch, it's true, Bobby, never has. He goes, Mr. Strickland probably just lent it to you. He goes, no, he gave it to me for helping him get the best score of his life. He goes, what did he shoot? He goes, a 65. He goes, what? Well, that's a course record. He goes, yeah, he was having some trouble, but I bailed him out with my trusty hand wedge. And Hank says, Bobby, you cheated. He goes, there was money on the game. Besides, Lane Prattley's a horse's ass. Hank grabs Bobby by the wrist. He goes, you're giving that watch back. He goes, no, I'm not. Mr. Strickland gave me that watch, and it's Mr. Strickland who gives me my money. He asked me to jump. I say, how high? He asked me to cheat, and we're on a green in two. Hank says, well, there is no getting around the rules in this house. If you like cheating and lying so much, why don't you go to Buck's house? He goes, all right, maybe I will. Fine, I'll drive you. All of a sudden, we got this standoff now between the two of them. Peggy.
I will say this. I'm surprised. The one thing I'm surprised Hank isn't a little proud of is that Bobby's willing to get up at 9 a.m. and go to work.
Yeah, it's true. That has kind of gone out the window because of the cheating thing. Plus, he's kind of stealing Buck away from him. You hear, he goes, fine, I'll drive you. Peggy says, Hank, what are you doing? He goes, I know what I'm doing. He goes, well, it sounded like you knew what you were doing, but I'm still too lightheaded to really fully comprehend your plan. He goes, Buck's no babysitter. He'll turn Bobby away the minute he sets foot on his doorstep. She says, all right, I can't handle 1,000 details, Hank. Just give me the broad strokes. And that is our second commercial. We'll take that, and we will be right back. Hey, look, now there's a pig here. What's up, man?
It's all in my mouth.
Yeah, it gets in your mouth. That's a bad mask. He's got a pig mask on. I went and blew my nose and got some more coffee and found one single solitary Reese's peanut butter cup that's left from Halloween. I am going to enjoy that now. Halloween.
I mean, Buck Strickland would have shared, I guess. But
It's one of those little ones, man. I'm not sharing that.
I mean, do you really need it?
Nope. It's already in
Fine,
my mouth
be
now,
like
though.
that.
So, fuck off. No, I'm just kidding. Pretty rough for a Halloween. Hey, did I tell you my Halloween story, by the way?
No.
So, sorry if I'm chewing, but so every year, I really enjoy giving out candy. I like making fun of the kids. I like throwing stuff at them, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Each year, I also pick out one canned good, and I put it right in the middle of the candy bucket, and then wait for that special child to take it, right?
Aw.
This year, it was a boy dressed in a inflatable chicken costume, entire body inflatable chicken costume.
Oh, that's a good costume.
He took it, and I was like, my man, just, I mean, it was the guy. So I always enjoy doing that. But
That kid's going to go places.
Yeah, absolutely, because he's thinking outside the candy bowl. But
Wait, real quick. What was the canned good?
garbanzo beans. We had 2 cans of them. My wife got mad at me because I gave it out. She goes, next time, go buy your own damn canned goods. I was like, what the hell are you going to do with 2 cans of garbanzo beans? How often do we eat garbanzo beans?
Well,
by the
maybe
way?
she eats them while you're here.
She does not. She does not. Nope. They've been there quite a while.
Then why was she so mad?
I don't know. It's odd. You can't track that stuff. So my neighbor, Jeremy, lives around the corner from me there. Jeremy's a friend. We've done a lot of stuff together. Put out a card game together, all that kind of stuff. But some years, Jeremy is there giving out candy in the front yard. He runs out real quickly and then hustles inside. But then some years, he doesn't come out at all. Leaves his lights off. I hate that, by the way.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything for him, great. But it's just so uninviting. I don't know what it is. So anyway, he and his buddies and his wife are out front, and we talk a little bit and stuff. And there's two things. We live in a cul-de-sac, so the kids come around the wrong direction a lot of the time. And I try to get them to come from the other direction so that they come to my house first and then his, because I like to convince them that he's handing out cash, right? Just like, go over there, the guy will give you $2 or something like that, right? So he did that for a little while. He didn't give out cash, but he gave out his candy for a little while. And then he picks up everything and moves it to the garage, which now faces the street rather than the cul-de-sac, right? You're going to get tired of that being in your mouth real quick. But when he does that, it cuts off the cul-de-sac from anyone else getting any of the kids. They just go straight down the street. So this puts a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, I enjoy Halloween. I want these kids coming around. I like to give them candy. I like to be stupid, and just have fun with them. So my grandson, 10 years old, I had him, he dressed up in the weirdest costume imaginable. I still don't know what it is.
Give it the times, old man.
But he was proud of it. No, it is I don't even think you'd know what it was. It is
I think he told me. I didn't know what it was.
Very specific, YouTube weird series where the guy's got a protractor for a hand. No idea. So, anyway, I get him and I say, listen, go over to that guy, and I show him Jeremy, and I say, tell him while all those kids are around getting candy and stuff, just look at him and go, Daddy, why didn't you ever do this when I lived here? So, had some fun on Halloween. There you
You want to know what I did this
go.
Halloween?
Yeah, what'd you do?
Well, I had to pull double duty at my other job, but that was fine. Overtime was not overtime.
Yeah. At least you get paid for it.
Afterwards, I get home and my lady friend. She's we live in an apartment complex, and she's sitting outside by her car because we live near the front, and she wants to give out candy to kids. Yeah. But we moved to a place, and she wanted to move here with not a lot of kids.
Not a lot of kids,
around.
yeah.
And anyone who did have kids, they went
apartment
to
complexes are tough for like Halloween and stuff. Yeah, I get it.
But then she's all sad and stuff, and I'm like, it's late, but she's all sad, and I was like, fine. We get in my car, and I told her we're just gonna drive to neighborhoods, see if we find some kids. And yes, I know how this sounds. And yes, we did.
We're gonna go track down some kids and force them some candy.
That's literally what we did. We actually found a few. We just drove to neighborhoods. We went to the neighborhoods near Extraco.
Yeah.
And we just
we gave them out until you ran out of razor blades.
No, we did not give out razor blades. We did not give out
not
razor
this
blades.
year.
We did buy 2 bags of candy. It was like, here, we just found some candy. We ended up giving up candy to 6 kids.
Just 6 kids?
Yeah.
Dude, if we are still doing this next year, come to my house. We'll all give out candy.
Oh,
and
probably.
I don't care in my neighborhood if you chase kids down.
Or we should have gone to.
At them.
They have a thing on Colcord Avenue.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of young kids there, but it was around 8 o'clock at night, and so there weren't a lot of people out to begin with.
You're gonna have to think about the phrasing on all of this stuff, man.
Oh yes. We went. I was. It was the hard part was really emphasizing. Hey, we have leftover candy. Do not get in my car, but do you want candy?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because it was all wrapped. Everything was fine.
Well, it doesn't help that you drive that big, white, unmarked van either,
It was not an unmarked van.
Say, hey, kids, want some candy? All right, so Hank has dropped Bobby off at Strickland's house. Strickland had no problem with it, even though he thought he was just going to turn him away. We're back at the Hill house, and Hank says, did Bobby phone home yet? Peggy is still on the couch because she's out of blood. She says, where's Bobby? He goes, well, I think he's still at Buck's, but believe me, after a couple hours without his nightlight and humidifier, he'll be begging to come home. Now it's the next day. Hank is parked in front of Buck's house. He keeps checking his watch. He goes to the door. Lupino answers, and he goes, hello, Lupino. Sorry to disturb you. I need to talk to Mr. Strickland. Mr. Strickland went to Hot Spring, Arkansas. I press his gambling suit and pack his naked lady playing cards. He goes last night with Mr. Hill. He goes, I'm Mr. Hill, little Mr. Hill. He goes, dang it. All right. Well, if Mr. Strickland calls, you tell him I'm taking a personal day. I just wrote down the words dum dum dum.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. He just took another man's kid.
Yeah, but when in the hell does Hank take a personal day? I mean, that is not a thing, right? All right. So now we are we're with Strickland and Bobby. They are in Hot Springs. Bobby is wearing a shirt that says "I'm hot, hot, hot for Hot Springs," and they're sitting in the stands at the dog races. Best place to take a kid. You ever been to a dog races, Bobby? He goes, not one as organized as this. Do they still let the monkeys ride the dogs around the track? Not since the 40s. Nothing like seeing a monkey whip a dog down the backstretch. They're sitting in the stands, and he goes, Bobby, you're going to be my wallet caddy. He said, now don't lose it. Hands him his wallet. He goes, I got all my betting money in there. He said, all right. He goes, okay, now, I just put our money on Wonder Dog. Bobby says, I like that name. He goes, yeah, I saw Wonder Dog dump a load before the race. Means he'd run light.
I mean, is there an accuracy to that?
About a dog taking a dump?
Yeah, like before, does that make them lighter for running?
I think so. I mean,
I imagine.
You know, it's what, 6 ounces you weren't carrying around?
Well, I guess, yeah, like if you ever had that really good one, you feel amazing after.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what you should have told the kids before you handed them candy. You hear the PA announcer, look out, folks, here comes a bunny. He goes, go Wonder Dog. And Bobby's like, go Wonder Dog. He goes, wallet caddy, hand me my wallet. We're going again. Now we're we're back at the Hill House. Min is in her yard working. You hear Peggy very weakly over the fence say, hey, Min, down here, Min. She's down at the bottom. She looks over, and Peggy is crawling on the grass with a mug. And Min goes, that's not real. You made that yourself. They wouldn't take any more blood from you. He goes, well, maybe not in Arlen, but maybe not in McManerberry. But, man, there's a little town called Houston. And when that construction crane fell over, they didn't have time to ask for questions.
I'm going to be honest. You have to draw a lot of disbelief for this part.
Oh.
Because remember, we decided it's in Arlen's in the Central Texas area.
Yeah.
So
she drove all the way to Houston.
She drove minimum 2-3 hours to Houston, which is already lethargic, gave blood, and she can barely stand up. Drove the 3 hours back in a day.
Yeah, well, that's how bad she wants it, man. She was watching for that crane to go down. Min says, you're lying. He goes, I would not be down here gloating if I were. I think I'll go inside and brew some coffee. Min just kind of muttering.
Hey, you gotta give Peggy props for winning.
Peggy's just laying there still, even though she says she's going to go in and do coffee. And she goes, yep, that's going to taste sweet. I mean, she's still on the ground. All right, Bobby and Buck are in a hot tub. So that's good. Take a kid in a hot tub. Buck says, now, you see, your daddy wouldn't know how to have a good time like this. He goes, no, sir, he would not. The towel man comes in. Buck says, hey, old-timer, do you know where Rooster's crap game is tonight? The guy says, Rooster's crap game is between 4th and 5th Street. Go around back, knock twice, and he'll slip $20 under the door. He goes, you ever see someone fish for 40, Bobby? He goes, no. Watch this. And he throws money in the tub, and the guy goes in after it. And Buck says, look at him go. He makes in a year what I make in a week. So this is the moment where Bobby realizes, shit, I'm with the wrong guy. This sucks.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to lie. I would also dive in for the money.
Oh, I would too. And Hank and Buck knows that. That's the thing. That's what makes it so shitty. He knows that. All right, so Hank is on his way. He gets pulled over by a cop. The cop says, thanks for letting me know my taillight was out. He goes, well, I'd want you to do the same for me, officer. Say, can you tell me how much further it is to Hot Springs? He goes, about another hour and a half. All right, drive carefully now. And he's talking to the cop, and the cop goes, okay, I will. Like, drive carefully to the cop. All right, cab pulls into the alley. Buck and Bobby get out, and they go to a craps game. You hear alarms in the back. This is very sketchy. Cats screeching. There's some low-level jazz playing. He knocks. He puts the money under the door. You hear the bouncer say, "Kid can't come in." He goes, "It's all right. He's my son." He goes, "I don't care whose son he is. Can't come in." He goes, "All right, Bobby, you're going to have to stay out here. I'm going to take half my betting money. You hold on to the rest." He hands him money and his pills. And he goes, "Here, hold on to my heart pills. If I'm losing my shirt in there, I'm going to fake a heart attack." Now, that's your cue to come in waving these pills, screaming, "My dad is having a heart attack." You got that? Now, who's my wallet caddy? He goes, "I am." He goes, "There we go."
No, he's all panicked when he says it. I am.
And then he just leaves him in the frickin' alley. I mean, Bobby's looking around. There's rats on the dumpster and all that. Oh, my God.
And you know the worst part?
Yeah.
This happened in, like, 2020.
Yeah.
At least Bobby could, like, be on his phone.
That's true.
If
He had no
one,
phone.
But he's
That's right.
he has nothing.
No.
Sit there.
Nothing there. All right, so there is a couple making out by the dumpster. Bobby looks over there. The guy's like, "What are you looking at?" He goes, "Oh, nothing." Come on, baby, forget about him. And then the guy, I think one of them throws up or something. It's just it's a rough place to be.
Yeah.
Hank is on the dark road. He keeps going. He sees a sign that says "Welcome to Hot Springs, home of Bill Clinton." He locks his doors and speeds up. And then the guy in the alley says, "You're lucky my woman doesn't want me to fight, you little freaker. I'd mess you up." Buck finally comes out. Bobby's scared to death at this point. Buck comes out and he goes, "I am hot, Bobby. I just hit 5 3 times in a row. Do you think I should press 5? He goes, "I don't know." And then the girl vomits. There you go. He goes, "Mr. Strickland, how much longer do you?" "Screw it. I'm going to press the 5. Luck is with me tonight, Bobby, on a gravy train with biscuit wheels." And he goes back
Always
in.
stop when you're ahead.
The guy that's with the girl that just threw up, he goes, "You all emptied out, Carla?" She goes, "Yeah." And then they start kissing again. Oh, gross. It's so good. Later in the alley, Bobby is sitting on the step. There's a couple of goons that come out of the door, and they go, "Okay, kid, hand over the money." He goes, "My daddy's having a heart attack." He goes, "Your daddy already tried, Dad. We're not buying it. Now give us the money and the watch." "But the watch is mine." "Your daddy said you'd give us the money and the watch. Now come on, kid, the watch." He goes, "The watch is mine." He runs off. Back inside, you got gangsters holding Buck down. And Buck says, "You get what you needed, Rooster? That boy gave you the money and the watch?" He goes, "The boy gave us the money and took off with the watch." He goes, "What? God dang it, Bobby. I think I'm having an infarction." He goes, "Look through his pockets and take his shoes." I mean, you're in rough shape when somebody takes your shoes. I think I told this story when we did this, but went to Nashville one time with a buddy of mine. I went back to the room because I was tired as hell because I've been driving all day. And he stayed at the club. He had to walk back to the thing. He walked through a train yard. A few unhoused people rolled him and took his shoes.
Aw.
Yep, that happened. All right, so Bobby is being chased by the goon, chased through a fence into a lot and all that stuff. And he's like, "It's my watch." And then finally Hank pulls up with a club in his hand, and he says, "Back off, I'm the boy's father." The goon says, "I thought the old guy was his father." He goes, "No, this one's my dad. This one right here, the one with the golf club." He cracks his knuckles and then backs off. He goes, "Here," and he gives the goon the watch. He says, "Take the watch. I don't want it anymore." Hank says, "The quicker we're out of Hot Springs, the better." Bobby nods and like crazy, and they start getting out of there. Buck stumbles into the alley. "Keep your distance. I just need some air. You heard me. I'm having a god dang heart attack."
Buck's real lucky right here.
Yeah. Hank, he runs into Hank's truck and goes, "Mr. Strickland, get in." And the goons are like, "Get him." Hank takes off in the truck. He lets them catch up a little bit. He goes, "What are you waiting for, Hank? Go. Yeah, come on. Get me, you son of bitches." I mean, goddamn. Just stop, Buck. They punch Buck, take off again, and he goes, "Yeah, that's right, you backwater hicks. You missed Buck again. Woohoo!" And so Hank literally let him get punched.
Yeah.
And then he took off. Later, they're driving down the highway. Bobby looks at Hank, and he says, "So I guess I'm going to be punished." He goes, "You're darn right." He goes, "First of all, you will not be caddying for Mr. Strickland anymore. Second of all, you're grounded for the rest of the summer." He looks at Hank, and he just kind of smiles and goes, "Thanks, Dad." And then we see Buck in the bed, freezing with the golf balls hitting him, and Hank's clubs hitting him. And that's it. We get the credits, and then after the credits, we hear, "Ms. Liz, 2 hot toddies." And that is it. That is it. We did an episode. Rusty, you should be so proud of us. We did it.
Yeah.
So that was Season 5, Episode 2. The Buck Stops Here. Again, special episode because Rusty's out. We're thinking about him. As far as I know, he should be back next week, and we'll do our stuff like normal. If you want to reach out to us, please do. We are BWAAKOTH@gmail.com. You can also go to BWAAKOTH.com, and it'll take you right to our page. If you have the inkling, please check out our Patreon. There's a $3 a month thing there. It really helps to kind of keep these lights on, which are very bright. I guess that's pretty much it. You got anything to add there, Mr. Mason?
Which I'm trying to say it. Fuck it. Wimatanye.
Wimatanye, indeed. We'll see you next time. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.